Okay. Okay. Okay.
Check. You want me to shut my light on? Who wants me to shut my light on?
I want you to shut your light on. Right. Okay, Reverend. What it's going to do is, okay, I'm going to introduce you. Okay, it's your first time. All right. Okay, these are members of the family, right? Right here. So why did you do it? Come on. Oh, no, this is just National Action Network.
No, let me get the family.
Okay, the family. That's it, yeah. Good morning. My name is Sam Riddle. I'm the State Political Director of Michigan National Action Network. This is a National Action Network press conference. We don't freeform. We don't have any shout-outs or nothing. We do what we're doing with this grieving family that has suffered a very unnecessary loss. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you the Chairman, President of the Michigan National Action Network, the Reverend Charles Williams II. Reverend Williams.
All right. There's plenty of room on this side here, too. Come on over here. Plenty of room. Thank you for joining us here. This matter that has brought us from a time where we should be singing Silent Night, we'll be singing Precious Lord, because an officer took matters into his hands and gave so-called street justice to a brother, a friend, a community member by the name of Kevin Matthews. We are going to fight this. This is an injustice. And whoever is involved, whether it's Dearborn police or it's Detroit police, you can expect that this family and this community will stand up and we will receive justice in the name of our brother, Kevin Matthews.
That's right.
It is time out for officers thinking that they can go around gunning down our youth. It is time out for officers thinking that they can go around and gunning down our black men. And so we are standing with the Matthews family. National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton, and many different groups from across the city and across the nation will be mobilizing and organizing a national demonstration in Dearborn Heights in January. But for now, we are preparing ourselves and getting ourselves ready to deal with burying our dear brother, Kevin Matthews. This is not the way that anybody should want to have to spend Christmas Eve. This is not the way that any mother should have to deal with their child. This is not the way that any sister or brother should have to see their brother. And so we are standing strong with the Matthews family, and we're calling into accountability any police, any officer that had something to do with the killing of Kevin Matthews. There is an officer from Detroit who went to Inkster, Michigan, His name is Bill Melendez. I'm going to send him a letter and tell him there's a space next to him for this officer that killed Kevin Matthews. We are going to hear words from the mother, and we are going to hear words from some of his siblings, and afterwards there are a couple of questions that I want to lay out that many of us in the community have in regards to this case. Ms. Matthews.
Yes. I just want to say my son was a good son. He was a good brother. He didn't hurt nobody. He didn't do nothing wrong to nobody for to deserve what he got. He didn't do nothing to nobody. I love my son, and he loved everybody. My son was on his way to see about me when he was shot down. He was coming to see about his mother. I love my son. He was a good boy. He was a very good boy. Always had a smile on his face. Always would do anything he can for anybody that he could. If he had it, you had it. He never did nobody wrong. He was always good through all his life. All his life. He was a good kid. And I love him. And I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss my child.
I'm sorry. This sister here.
I just want to say
This
that
is the sister of Kevin.
I just want to say that my brother was very loving. He was my closest sibling. We were very close. Every time I saw him, he told me he loved me. He kissed me. We talked on the phone every day. He was a family-oriented person. He was the person in our family that made everybody laugh, that made everybody feel special, that was always around, just loving his family. He is going to be a big loss to this family. He was the star of this family as far as like just being just the sweetest and loving, caring person that he was. And we want justice. And we are going to fight this all the way. All the way. We are going to fight this. We are not letting my brother die in vain. Instead of wrapping presents with my baby, I have to bury my brother. That's what I get for Christmas. That's what our family gets. And it's not right. And we're tired of it. And we're not standing for it any longer.
Brother of Kevin Matthews.
It's horrible. It's horrible. That was my brother. That was my brother.
All right.
I'm a mess. He called me every day. He left me 5-minute voicemails all the time. I need justice. Something gotta happen. I'm telling you, because I'm never defeated. I'm never defeated. And something gotta happen, because they took my brother. He was harmless, and they took him. They shot him like a dog, like a dog,
8 times,
and left him there, and left him there.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The passion in the faces of those who stand here is not the passion of those who would celebrate Christmas, but the passion of those who have to bury a loved one who may have been a community member, who may have been somebody's brother, who may have been somebody's son. And so we say today, move over, Bill Melendez. There's another officer coming from Dearborn Heights. Dearborn. There's another officer coming from Dearborn, because we're going to get justice for our brother Kevin Matthews.
Yes.
But just before we leave, I have a couple of questions. First of all, I don't understand. that if somebody is running from the police,
Amen.
then why wouldn't the assumption be that he doesn't even have a weapon?
That's right.
For all to turn out, for after the chase was over, only to find out that the man didn't have a weapon. That's right. That's the first thing.
That's right.
Secondly, the next question that I have is that Kevin Matthews was known in that area.
Yes.
He went back and forth to the gas station all the time. Known to be one of those who you would see and you say, hey, Kev, as you ride down the street.
Yes.
It was also known, and it's also verified, that Kevin Matthews suffers from mental illness.
Yes.
Suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, which is a disability that people suffer from in the community, and that officers and community members have to be very careful with when they're dealing with somebody like that. It was known in that community that when someone like Kevin, or Kevin himself, had challenges, and those challenges needed to be taken care of, and they needed to be very sensitive. There are even reports of Detroit police officers. Get this.
Yes.
There are reports of Detroit police officers
Yes.
who knew Kevin Matthews
Yes.
and who, when he was out in the community and he may have been having a fit or he may have been dealing with his illness, would take him to his mother's house.
Yes. Bring him home.
So it sounds like to me that this Dearborn officer just wanted to gun for somebody, and Kevin Matthews happened to be the target. Well, the gun that you pointed towards that young man, you got three fingers pointing back at you, and you better understand something. Those three fingers are equality and justice.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to fight for equality and justice for Kevin Matthews. So those are our questions. He was unarmed. He suffered from mental illness, which is a very, very serious issue. It was known that he had suffered with paranoid schizophrenia, and he was well known in that community, and he was well known at the different places where he was. And so this officer, in our minds, and and this isn't nothing we making up, this officer was just wrong. And so we're going to continue to fight for justice. Lastly, on January the 4th, Monday, January the 4th, the nation stopped and watched Chicago shut down Michigan Avenue over the death of Laquan. Well, the nation will watch Dearborn get shut down on Michigan Avenue in front of the police department.
That's right.
Calling for justice for Kevin Matthews.
Justice.
We are partnering with organizations across the nation. We're calling all of our national leadership and civil rights organizations, and on January the 4th, we're having a national demonstration in Dearborn.
Yes.
We won't get no rest until Kevin Matthews' life has been vindicated and we get justice. We won't get no rest
Justice.
until that dirty, nasty officer,
Evil, rotten.
officer is sitting in a jail cell here in the state of Michigan.
Amen.
No justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice.
No peace.
I want to ask the media if you have a couple of questions. We'll take a couple of questions. After the questioning, we are going to ask that this is a death that happened in the holiday. And so we're going to ask all of you all to be very respectful as we work out the preparations for the burial and for all of that. We'll make sure that you get everything that you need. You can contact the National Action Network office. All of you all know my information and know our office information, and you can contact us, and we will make sure you get everything for as we get ready to move into the phase of putting our brother to rest. So I'm just asking everybody to be extremely respectful for that. This is a very tough time. This is the holiday that they will never forget.
No.
I understand. That's all right. That's all right.
Say one thing, please.
We want to take some questions. That's okay.
Yeah, Diane, what were you going to say?
I just wanted to ask real quickly, since that cop seemed to know Kevin, if anybody in the family knew who that cop was, because they're refusing to release his identity.
No.
Okay.
And we and
But
it
he
is
did know him.
well, and we are
Didn't know his name.
God's going to reveal him.
we are looking for him to be revealed because Kevin Matthews is revealed. If Kevin Matthews got to be plastered on the front page of the paper, then the officer need to be plastered on the front page of the paper. If Kevin Matthews' family got to
I
suffer
wanna
for
see
the
him.
loss, then his family need to suffer for
That's
what
right.
he did.
Amen.
Sir, first of all, condolences to the family. How old was Kevin?
He just turned 35, December the 10th.
If you ask a question, identify the news organization you're with as a preface to your question, please.
Kimberly Craig, Channel 7. I'm sorry. did
Thank
say
you.
35?
Okay.
35. I'm glad you raised that question because not only was he 35, but and not only did he suffer from paranoid schizophrenia, he also had just got hit by a car on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
On Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
And there are doctors and there are everything that we need to back that up. He got hit by a car, and he had a broke arm. And,
To his head.
and stitches and everything. So it's concerning to me for this officer to feel like he was threatened or that he couldn't fight or he could not. He was only about a very small guy. He wasn't a really big guy. So it's interesting to us that he had just broke his arm, that he would actually be able to win a tussle. Or he actually even tussle.
He's not a big man, he's a little man.
Right. Or actually even tussle with this officer. This is why, these are some of the concerning questions that we have. Yes.
Do you think he was running from the officer, but there was not a struggle?
He wouldn't have
Well,
never ran.
let me be very clear.
He wouldn't have never ran.
The
They weren't trying to do something to him.
The questions that we have are the questions that we have outlined today. We are not going to try this case in the media. We can't do it. You know, all know that that's not something that we can necessarily do. But we can tell you about who he was. And what we do know is that he was one of those folks in the community who was definitely a respected person.
Yes.
Yes.
And we all do know that.
Yes.
Everybody in that area knew him well. And not only did they know him well, they even knew his challenges well. Not only did the community members, but also the police officers, at least on the Detroit side, we know knew his challenges very well.
Both
Was
sides.
his broken arm obvious? Was it in a cast or something?
He had just got it
He
taken
got it
off.
taken off.
Okay, so there was no obvious sign to the arm drug.
It was still messed up, though.
He had to have physical
But like
therapy.
if I had just met him, I wouldn't know that his arm.
Well, his fingers is closed. His
Yeah,
fingers
it-
were
it-
closed. So you saw a deformity, but you might not have knew it, you know, but his fingers could not go straight like this.
Lauren put out Channel 4. Was Kevin employed? Had he been working
No, he
recently,
gets a
or-
he gets a
He's
check from the
disability.
state.
He's disabled.
Disabled.
Where was he living at this?
He was living with his girlfriend and my mom back and forth.
And is he on SSI because of his
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Yes, he is disabled.
Was he on any sort of medication also?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know
And he
if
just got to
he
hit
was
them.
still-
Huh?
Do you know if he was not?
He was assigned medication. That's what we do know. So we want to make it very clear. This is not a situation where we can, go through everything, but we do know that he was assigned medication. He was on SSI. He was classified by the state of Michigan as a disabled person.
Yes.
And it was paranoid
He wasn't violent at
schizophrenia.
all.
Non-violent.
Non-violent. His problem, he wasn't violent to no one.
Yeah.
He was gentle and kind.
Come to the microphone and say that about whether he was violent or not, like this gentleman was just saying.
Yes.
He was not violent. He was gentle and kind and peaceful. When he still was a wonderful person. So nothing the police did was right. He wouldn't have hurt them at all.
Not justified.
I'm gonna take a couple more. We're gonna take a couple more questions, and then we got to move on. Yes. Yes, we'll supply you all the information afterwards.
And I know this may be uncomfortable to talk about, but he obviously has.
Well, if it's uncomfortable for you to talk about, then maybe it might not be the question for you to ask. You need to use judgment. It's Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. You understand that, don't you?
I know, and I'm not going to ask anything inappropriate. But obviously, Kevin had some run-ins, minor run-ins with law enforcement in the past, and we had heard that he was always willing to work with police officers, correct? So you're saying his behavior of running
No.
is unusual? He's
Yes.
always willing to work with officers in the past?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
That's what
There-
I'm trying to express.
One thing you gotta ask,
The family speak to that?
has anybody located witnesses to the,
All of that is being worked on through attorneys right now, and we have gone as far as we can go from here. And I mean, I think everybody needs to understand it's Christmas.
right,
I think sometimes we can forget. This is the time where we're all really supposed to be wrapping gifts. Everybody in this room is supposed to be somewhere else right now. I know it, because I am. And we're here because this is an injustice. When I was called yesterday, I was somewhere else. But we had to be here because this is an injustice. No more men should be shot down by police officers who are unarmed. If you can't police with your hands, don't police. We're done. We're done. Thank you.
And thank you for attending. And family, thank you for coming and staying strong.
Hey, Judy.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Me too. I was hoping to have an opportunity to make a statement, but that's okay.